Hi everyone, it's Enchantress. So I'm going to go over a little bit about what I talked about in one of the readings, I think. It was that kind of long reading about the Frozen reading. Okay, the Frozen reading where I kind of showed you some new charms and showed you my new Frozen quote-unquote deck that I made and so on. Alright, so the point I was making here is that, of course, we have in tarot, we have wands, swords, pentacles, and cups. Those are our general suits that we use in the tarot decks. And sometimes they're called different things. Like generally wands is always wands. And swords is always swords. Pentacles is sometimes called discs, and cups are often called chalices. But in general, that's the basic lingo used in traditional tarot. Now, in some tarot, I will show you some other language that's used. All right, so we'll skip the princesses for now. Okay, we're going to get to that in a minute. But here's the Wildwood Tarot, okay? Wildwood Tarot that have bows, which is equal to, where's our bows? Which is equal to oh yeah, like I can't even read this. Equal to wands. They have vessels, which is cups, stones, which is pentacles, and arrows, which is swords. And the meanings in the Wildwood Tarot are very nice. You know, they're real different and very in depth. It's a very in depth book and a very in depth deck. And so it's something that you might be interested in using, the Wildwood Tarot, because it's a little bit different. Alright, so that's them. And then, that deck that I've been using lately is the Fairy Tarot. And Fairy Tarot has bells, which is significant with pentacles. Leaves, which goes with swords. Hearts is hearts, or cups, I'm sorry. Yeah, hearts are cups. Hearts are always cups. And acorns are wands. Yes, okay. So we got that clear. So that's the Fairy Tarot, which is one of my favorite tarots, or one of my favorite versions, you know, where there's different versions of the suits, which is what the theme of this video is about. Are you following me? Am I making sense? Alright, so the Fairy Tarot. Another one that is kind of started me off as far as versions of the tarot is the Fairy Tarot by Doreen Virtue. So we got two different kinds of fairy tarots here. This Fairy Tarot is by Antonio Lupatelli, and then this one is Radley Valentine and Doreen Virtue. And this is one that, you know, I was going to get right away, like I said, but because it didn't have the traditional suits, I put it off a little bit. And then so I'll show you some examples. So here we have the seasons. So spring, it coordinates with the wands. Autumn coordinates with pentacles. Summer coordinates with cups. And winter coordinates with swords. And also, it's important to note that they also coordinate with the elements. So winter is also connected to air, spring is connected to fire, autumn is connected to earth, and summer is connected to water. Alright, so that's how that one works. And that is equally true for the Wildwood Tarot. So the Wildwood Tarot's seasons correspond exactly the same way as the Fairy Tarot does. So everybody's, on the same page with all of this information, just so you know that it's kind of a universal information here. One of my most favorite, though, is this adorable little Halloween tarot deck. And the Halloween tarot has a really unusual ones. So imps are connected to clubs and wands. Ghosts are connected to cups. Bats are connected to swords. And pumpkins to pentacles. Okay? So that's how the Halloween tarot works. And this is the Lenormand deck that I created. It's out of just a jumbo playing card set. And as I mentioned before, you can correspond playing cards with Lenormand. So this is the Astounding Pixies Lenormand, which is a very basic Lenormand. And you can see at the bottom, on each of the cards, you have hearts, you have clubs, you have diamonds, and spades. And these correspond. That's how Lenormand corresponds to playing cards. And they all correspond with each other, okay? So in playing cards, clubs equals wands equals crowns. And I'll show you the crowns according to the jumbo. So the crowns, these are all different. We got crowns, diamonds, snowflakes, and hearts. Hearts is like one of the ones. Hearts and cups are kind of almost the easiest one, but all the other ones get such a variety here. So that's how I match them, how they're matched up, and it's kind of just a general thing for all of them. So, so clubs. Let's see. Okay, so clubs equals wands equals crowns equals fire equals spring equals acorns equals bows and imps, okay? And then diamonds equal diamonds. Okay, so diamonds are diamonds, which is easy enough to remember. That's also can be used for pentacles. It's earth, autumn, bells, stones, and pumpkins. And snowflakes are used for spades, and which is also equal to swords, and air, winter, leaves, arrows, and bats. And then hearts is equal to hearts, and cups, and water, and summer, and vessels, and ghosts. So there you go, guys. That's how I figure this out. Match them all up. There's lots out there that a few decks out there that do that. They're all fun in their own way. But you can just take a playing card deck, any playing card deck, and match them up according to the Lenormand way or to the Tarot way, which was the way that I did my Frozen 2 deck. So I'll go ahead and show you Frozen 2 also. Oh no, wait. Let me see where it is. So my Frozen 2 as you can see, there's the clubs, and so then I look here and I see what clubs equals wands. Okay, so then this, I made the 6 of wands, which we know as the person that's riding in on the horse, and you know, the one that's the victor, the champion, and sometimes the famous person indicates fame, and so on. And that's how, the only problem with playing cards is there's not 78, so you know, some of the cards won't be represented. It'll be mostly minor arcana, and you know, so that's up to you. Or you can mix decks together. You know, you can mix 2 decks together, so you can get some, you know, and just indicate which ones are your major arcana. Speaking of major arcana, speaking of major arcana, you'll laugh to know how much time has passed since I said it last, and saying, anyway, I had a visitor. I had my sister came over for just a second and kept her distance pretty far from us. Anyway, I'm just saying, so speaking of major arcana, so along with the minor arcana being using different symbols for the suits, major arcana sometimes also, different authors will do different meanings. One very great example is in the Good Tarot. So let's flip through the major arcana with them real quick. Fool is the Fool, Magician and Magician, High Priestess, pretty same, Empress, Emperor, Hierophant, Love instead of Lovers, Chariot, Hermit, Strength, Fortune's Wheel, which is pretty close to saying Wheel of Fortune, Justice, Hanged Man. Then we have Transformation for 13, which I think that's the Devil. Transformation, okay? Or Death, no, Death, okay. Death is Transformation. And then we have Patience, which is the Temperance card. Temptation is the Devil. Then we have the Tower, Star, the Moon, Sun, the Call, which is Judgment, and the World. So there's some little bit of variations on that in that deck, in the Good Tarot. In the Fairy Tarot by Doreen Virtue, we have a little bit of variation as well. We have, instead of the Fool, the Dreamer. We got the Magician, High Priestess, Empress, Emperor, Unity, the Lovers, Chariot, Justice, Hermit, the Wheel, Strength, Awakening instead of Hanged Man, Release instead of Death, Balance instead of Temperance, Ego instead of the Devil, Life Experience instead of the Tower, the Star, the Moon, the Sun, Renewal for Judgment, and the World. Sometimes it takes my brain a moment to sync it up. Alright, who are we going to do next? Because the other two are even harder. So, here we have the Fool. It doesn't even say, it's not even called, okay, let's see, do they have a name? Okay, this is the Wildwood Tarot. No, this is the Fairy Tarot. But, okay, so there's not names written on them, but the names given are a little bit different in the book. So I'll go over these also real quick. So the Elf is the Fool. The Magician is the Magician. Then for the High Priestess, they have the High Priestess. Empress is the Empress. Emperor is the Emperor. Hierophant, the Hierophant. Lovers, the Lovers. Chariot, the same. Then we have the Dryad, which is Strength. No, Strength is, I thought we had a Strength card, but anyway, Dryad. So the Dryad is is a fairy living in the neighborhood of the giant oak to listen to the problems of people and settle impartiality. So maybe this is the, okay. Well, I can't remember when. You guys know. Alright, and then we have the Hermit. This is the Hermit. The Oread. This is the spirit of luck and enchanted realm, riding the wheel. So this is like the Wheel of Fortune. This is strength, and it's in the thick of the forest. It's possible to find the spirit of strength who to improve their power and courage and energy. This can be a little confusing because 8 normally is strength, okay? And so I was right. 8 normally is strength. And okay, I think they got strength and justice confused. Interesting. So, and 11 is usually justice. Then we have the Hanged Man, Death, the Sylph, which is Temperance, the Devil, or the Troll is the Devil, the Tower. We got another fun character, the Naiad, and she appears out of the sky of clouds, revealing starry vaults. And yes, it must be considered a good omen for the Naiad to appear. So that is like the star. Then we have the moon, and we have the sun, judgment, and the globe, the world. So, okay, I maneuvered through those okay. Then in the Wildwood Tarot, it kind of goes something like this. Okay, so the Wanderer is the Fool. I'm trying to memorize every single number. It gets a little tricky. 1, the Shaman is Magician. 2, the Seer is the High Priestess. 3, the Green Woman is the Empress. 4, the Green Man is the Emperor. 5, the Ancestor is the Hierophant. 6, the Forest Lovers. 7, the Archer is the Hermit. Oh, the Stag is the Hermit. Okay, this is where I start. No, Stag is Strength. So Hermit, I think. Strength. The Hooded Man is the Hermit. The Wheel of Fortune. The Woodward. The Mirror. The Journey, which is Death. No. Yes, no. Yeah. Balance. The Guardian, Devil. The Blessed Oak, like the Tower. The Pole Star is a star. The Moon on the Water, Moon. The Sun of Life, the Sun. The Great Bear is Judgment, and 21, the World Tree is the world. Okay, so sometimes it's necessary to refer to the book to remind yourself on decks like this. I think I have a couple more decks that do the same thing. Let's see if I can find them and show you. Okay, I'm going to show you one more deck. This is the Witch's Tarot. I love the art so much. It's so pretty. It's just, I don't know, the deck that I got was kind of small. Or I don't know if this is the original or not. This might be a giveaway, and I might be doing other kind of clearing off my shelf giveaway kind of things. Just saying, keep an eye out for that. Alright, so these are all pretty close to the originals, except some of them are very different. The Magician, this is my most favorite Magician card of all Magician cards, though, so it's hard. High Priestess, and she's a really pretty High Priestess. The Empress, the Emperor, the High Priest, the Lovers, my least favorite Lovers. This kind of like hunched over thing bugs me so much. The Chariot, Strength, Hermit. Then we have the Wheel of the Year. So this deck is kind of weird because it's like, oh, let's make it a witch deck and call it the Wheel of the Year, you know, but that's it. That's really only some minor changes made it a witch deck. Basically, it's a Rider-Waite, you know, clone kind of thing. So, Death, Temperance, the shadow side for the double, Tower, Star, Moon, Sun, Karma for Judgment, and that's a neat world though, isn't it? I like that. Cute. That's it. So that one didn't have very many variations. And another thing I like about some decks is when they add an extra card. So like the Tarot de la Nuit has the Angel de la Nuit. This is one of my favorite extra cards. It's so pretty. And in the Tarot of Inspiration, another favorite is the Happy Monkey. So there you go, guys. That's kind of like my experience. You know, my way of showing you these different decks that go by different symbols. So to wrap it up again, in the Minor Arcana and playing cards, you have clubs, spades, diamonds, and hearts. Within the clubs, you have that it matches up to wands, and which matches up to fire and spring, and then crowns, acorns, bows, imps, whatever you want. Spades matches up to air and winter and swords, and then leaves, arrows, and bats are some other snowflakes or some other variants. Diamonds match up to pentacles, which is earth and autumn, and that matches up to diamonds, bells, stones, pumpkins, or anything else you can think of. Hearts match up to water and summer, and cups. And so cups and vessels in summer, I mean, really, cups and vessels are and hearts. Very that one, the hearts and the cup suits usually stick with that theme very much. So having ghosts was kind of fun, and it was kind of hard to remember that ghost was cups. All right, so there you go, guys. I hope you like that. Faith, just a pixie dust.